Guys, you see what is Moldova in reality? It is very much an agricultural heartland of the ex-Soviet Union in many ways. So what they did basically, it's very underdeveloped, not densely inhabited. When you compare it, for example, with Kosovo, Albania, you see houses everywhere. Here, no. It's very agricultural development. This was basically the vineyard of the Soviet Union. And they treated it like this. So about vineyards, very monocultural development. You see on both sides only wine. So that's basically what you do with state-developed countries, because they decided this country is for wine and they did a lot of wine. So that's good for the wine industry, but I'm more for a mixed development where we have different sectors developing. But that's the inherited structure, so let's focus on wine and on infrastructure. What's of course the problem compared to the Balkans is you have much less infrastructure. You have this typical, you can compare it with Macedonia, where the basic infrastructure is good. This is very typical Tito road style of the 2000s, where you compared Macedonia, the road to Ohrid. It's very similar, but you don't have these wonderful new developments of the new highways like you have it in Kosovo, and you don't have the same level of intensive forwards development. In the city, yes, that's driven by the private sector, but Moldova simply doesn't have the financial capacities for the big things, and that must be done by the European Union. That's why we are a union of 27 and future 37. So we need a big infrastructure drive. We need to really get going, and they will also be a good contribution to especially the wine sector. Because here really wine is the big thing to do, and as far as your eye can see, you see wine yards, really big and plentiful vineyards, and a lot of forests, and the people are already in France, Italy and Spain. It's not very densely populated here, and it's a lot of new agricultural land as input, and 2.5 maybe less people. And here you see vineyards. They probably need actually more people to work them. And here you see another valley full of wine and other agricultural beauty. So here really the task is still huge. The moment you leave Chisinau, you have the typical centralist kind of development, this big city where possibly half of the population is living of Moldova. And then you have the very poor peripheral cities. I will just show you one, because I don't know all of them, and I'll show you the one I know already. I've been in 2018 in June at the Automotive Forum here, and I have seen this Comrade. It's an important city. It's also something I recommend, and I have made a lot of tweets back then already. You can maybe find it on my blog. But here you see things are developing, and here you see, of course, vineyards. These are not in the best condition. Actually, I think they have more vineyards than they can take care of. And still, of course, the wine is simply endless opportunity in that sector. But there's also other agricultural opportunities. And as you've seen, since we left Chisinau, there was no settlement. That's typical also for this region. Also in Ukraine, you see not a lot of separate villages, or that's not because probably of the crimes against the farmers, or from Stalin's time, the collectivization and a whole lot more. But you basically see outside of the cities, a few people live. Yeah? And also the regional cities are very underdeveloped. It's not like in Kosovo, where, for example, in Pea, Prizren, you really have very, very good economic development as well. This is another vineyard. And we are here in the middle of the wine area, and you see another of these wine farms. They are probably all wine collecting farms from the Soviet Union, and they have been then privatized by one of the few oligarchs, and now they are these big wine entities, similar like to whatever in Podgorica. You have the same system. But here, of course, it's even more impressive in terms of dimension and size of wine farms. It's not a small Austrian wine viticulture. It's more industrial scale wine development. Yeah, one of these other green valleys. and here the mountains towards Comrade. I will keep you posted. More to come from Pax Europiana. Bye.